What do you think? Somebody asked me about bone broth once, and I make my own bone broth, so I know where the bones came from. I
Hmm.
made it myself. It's fresh when I mean, sometimes I freeze it and makes other stuff out of it, but I generally eat it fresh when I make it, and then I save the rest. So I'm like when I make my own bone broth, I know that it's got broth. But then
Right.
I go to the grocery store and I see it in a box, I'm suspicious. It's
Well,
basically just canned broth. I mean, what the hell is this? Like it's new healthy bone broth. They
well,
had to preserve it. It's sitting over the counter for a year. What? No.
yeah,
I just automatically have a no to that.
a question to it, right? Well, it's funny because I made the bone broth. Ironically, that the week that we froze, my my son, they'd gone hunting, and he got his first doe. Anyways, I got some of the bones from the deer,
Dear boy, I do that whenever
and
people will bring me bones. I'm like, yay, fresh bones.
so we boiled it for, I mean, almost 24 hours, and we were taking it off because I was like, oh, this is a good time to do it. You can't go anywhere. We're snowed in, and we had turned off the burner. We're starting to put it into the little containers, and all of a sudden, that's when the power went off. So it was kind of funny. But what the difference though is that it's such a difference because we boiled it for a good, I mean, quite a few hours, and it's so much thicker, the consistency of it, compared to the bone broth at the grocery store. And I'll find the organic stuff, all the brands, the various brands that I've tried, and all of them are very thin in texture. Now, of course, they probably remove a lot of the fat, but I wonder in removing some of that fat, how much of the good nutrients they're removing from it as well, right? So, anyways, I agree.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Like I said,
nothing like homemade stuff, right?
I only trust my own. So I'm like, I tell people, it's like, is it harmful for you to go get bone broth instead of using just plain old canned broth? Could you get bone broth and use that to make stuff? Yeah. But if I like have a cold or the flu, am I gonna be like, go to the store and get, no, you need homemade bone broth. You need those fresh, that marrow out of there. I just don't know. They don't have a way to quantify
A really
active
good question.
marrow components. And if they did,
Yeah.
then maybe, but they don't. And it's been sitting there. And I know that if I let my bone broth sit or even freeze it in thawed, I don't know that it still gives me the same quality that if I when I made it fresh.
Fresh, I know, and I did freeze. I did freeze it because it was a lot.
It's a lot.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you can't
gosh, I
possibly
had a
eat it all.
lot.
We really tried because I made bone broth that same week. And so yeah, it's funny because that's pretty much, oh yeah, we were on a diet that week, and that's pretty much all I ate the whole week. Because I had a bunch of vegetables. I basically made a bone broth, but I had a bunch of vegetables in it, and I basically just ate vegetable soup the whole week.
Oh, nice. That was smart.
Yeah.
That was smart. Yeah, I know that was an interesting week. That's for sure. So, mm-mm. Very interesting week.